Yo, what's up, guys? So we're back, and I'm not gonna give you guys any explanation on why we haven't uploaded anything because I don't know about him, but I was super busy. I was off at college doing shit, and so basically, I'm gonna tell you guys the story of the night that I got arrested. It's crazy. That's all I gotta say.
Don't play with me, that's the only thing I love. I love,
Okay, so towards the beginning of my senior year of high school, or our senior year of high school, okay, me and him weren't friends for some reason at the time.
It's because you quit. No, that was.
Yeah, no, I think it was because I quit football.
Oh, that was.
Who gives
that was
a
like
shit?
a whole year.
That
doesn't matter.
What was it? November.
It was the Valley game, wasn't it?
It was the weekend of the Valley game.
So,
okay, anyways.
28th.
Okay, so towards the beginning of my senior year, I got out of this relationship and basically.
Your tires are real.
Yeah, shut up. Anyways, so got out of this relationship and basically my whole mindset was, you know what? I'm just gonna party a shit ton. So what happened? So pretty much from the beginning of senior year all the way up until, what was it? November
28th. November 28th.
November 28th. Date really doesn't really matter. Anyways, so I was just partying like almost every weekend, all that shit. Well, the weekend of our rival game in football, so my buddy who lives in Texas now, but he used to live here, he had this house out in Akron, which is like 15 minutes away, 10, 15 minutes away, depending on who's driving. So he had this house on the outskirts of this small little town called Akron, and so his parents used to go to Tennessee almost every weekend to do whatever. We decided to throw a party at his house, okay? So it was the Friday night after the football game, you know, crazy shit happened, all that. We all wake up the next day, we're all hungover, and somebody had the bright idea of, let's throw another one. We decided to throw in that next night, and my whole process throughout that whole day was like, you know what, I don't know if I should go to this party, you know, yeah, I'm still trying to recover from last night, and so I was like, you know, YOLO. So I picked up, I was like, what, 5 girls in my car? We're not gonna say the names. We're gonna
use names.
Yeah, we're gonna keep. We'll just call them other names. So we had
Donnie, the little one,
yeah.
your cousin.
Oh yeah, my cousin, and who gives a shit? I had these girls in the car, right? So we go to this party. Okay, so the little one, right? Big mistake. Within 30 minutes of us being at this party, she is sitting in a laundry basket full of dirty clothes, plastered, straight plastered, beyond like revival. She was done for the night. We wanted to, well, I didn't want to, but my buddy who was throwing the party wanted to make a little bit of money before, you know, I don't know, he just wanted to make money, who cares? He decides to charge everybody that came to the party $2 before they walked in the house. I think he made around 150 bucks, 200 bucks, something like that. There's a lot of kids there, some crazy, by far the best party I've ever been to. What all happened? I whooped some ass in beer pong. I witnessed a girl dolphin dive down a flight of stairs into the basement. I'll go into deeper detail. So, I'm pretty drunk, and I'm sitting over by, like, I'm not going to show you guys the layout of the house, but, like, I was sitting in the kitchen, and then, like, if you walk past the kitchen, you can see, like, the top of the stairs. So, I saw this girl. Her name was...
Dolphin diver.
Yeah, basically that's what we call her, dolphin diver. Yeah, dolphin diver. So, I'm sitting there, I'm just kind of looking around the party, I'm like, oh yeah, this is a good party, and like, I make eye contact with her, and she's at the top of the stairs. She looks at me, then looks down the flight of stairs. Looks back up at me, looks down the flight of stairs. Looks back up at me, shrugs her shoulders, and just dolphin dives down this flight of stairs.
Give me!
I don't know what the was going through this girl's mind, but I was traumatized. I'm looking around, did you see that? Did you see? What the? So I like run over to the top of the stairs. I look down the staircase and she's just like on her face. Like, I don't know if she got knocked out. Anyway, so like I for some reason, I got into like full on Grey's Anatomy doctor mode. Got her up and like evaluated her. I was like, oh, can you do this? Can you do this? Blah, all that bullshit, okay? Anyways, so we get her an ice pack and all that shit. A girl flashed her right in front of me. So like, there was this whole situation between my buddy and these two girls. They both liked him, blah, 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 blah. The one girl who flashed her she, so she was highly intoxicated, alright? And she was trying to have sex with my buddy. Well, my buddy, like, at first, he was somewhat all about it, and then, like, he just kind of changed his mind. He's like, I don't want to. I kind of like this other girl. But finally, like, my buddy kicks the highly intoxicated girl out of the room. I'm outside of his room, blah, 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 talking to other people. And she gets pissed. And she goes, I just want some and just flashes it. And at that moment, at that very moment, I knew I was at a good party. At that very moment. So fast forward like about 30 minutes, my dad calls. So he knows that I went over to my buddy's house. Maybe he knew that I went to a party. He had to, I don't know. I came home plastered the other night and I just feel like he knows. Anyway, so he calls me and I'm like, ah, shit. And so I go outside as far away from the music as possible and I answer it. I'm like, hello? He's like, ah. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm at my buddy's house. And he's like, well, what are you guys doing? I'm like, oh, you know, we're just listening to music, you know, talking, blah, blah, blah. He's like, you guys ain't doing nothing stupid? I was like, nah.
Why the fuck you lying?
And so what else did he say? Oh, he was like, hey, mom needs you to get milk on your way home. I was like, okay, is that it? He's like, yeah. Oh, and don't let 4 o'clock catch you, which is like means don't let 4 a.m. like don't come home at 4 a.m. is what he meant. So I was like, all right, well now I can't, you know, stay here and be safe. So I decided to stop drinking a little bit. Fast forward about another 30 minutes, like a group of girls left the house, like left the party. All I know is that they crashed on their way home. Somebody drove by it and called my buddy and told him and all that bullshit. So we were like, all right, we got to keep it down just in case the, you know, the cops come back this way, in case they say that they were at a party. So many people started freaking out and I was too intoxicated to even, what's the word that I'm looking for? Comprehend. I was too intoxicated to even comprehend all of this shit. So my little cousin, right? She is screaming bloody murder. Bloody murder. Oh my god, the cops are coming, everybody's gotta go. So everybody if they weren't freaking out then, they were definitely freaking out now. Everybody's freaking out. Oh my, I wanted to pimp slap her so hard. You bitch! Fuck you! I was like, what are you doing? Why? Why would you go out into a room full of drunken people and say, hey, the cops are coming? Because now you're gonna cause everybody to then leave the house. Everybody's gonna try and leave the driveway all at one time, and they're all gonna speed back home, and then somebody's gonna crash and die, and it's all gonna be your fault. A little harsh, but it got my point across, and she shut the f up. So eventually, like, you know, we pulled everybody down into the basement, and, you know, we were all kind of just chilling, and then somebody got the bright idea of, let's start a boxing tournament. Why? Okay, so this kid from Valley, and then one of my buddies who used to be my roommate at college, they boxed, okay? Big mistake, okay? So my buddy was drunk and like stupid high. He's like, oh yeah, I'll box you. We're like, all right. I was like, Cooper wrestled a little. I mean, even though it's a boxing match, I was like, if Cooper's in any type of trouble, he knows how to wrestle and he'll get out of it. So I was rooting for him, but then the other guy, he played on the football team, yeah, and he was pretty jacked. Well, he wasn't jacked. He was he was buff. He was bigger than CC. So it starts, and immediately I regretted putting my money on CC because he got his ass whooped. I mean, I felt bad, but it was pretty funny. We might as well just go to the good part. So somebody had told the host of the party, my buddy, that the cops were coming. We go back upstairs, and then my buddy kind of stayed downstairs for a little bit. Then he comes back up the stairs, and he goes, "Everybody, the cops are coming. Get the fuck out." I shit you not, there was probably about 80 people, between 80 to 100 people there, and they cleared this house within 10 seconds, give or take 5 seconds, okay? And everybody cleared out. I stayed because I was like, well, if a bunch of drunken idiots are gonna start driving, I'm just gonna like wait back. And I had stopped drinking a while ago, so I was like, I'll just wait back, sober up just a little bit more. So then finally, I decided, I'm like, all right, it's 3:25, might as well make my way home. Well, before I start my drive home, my buddy's dad had came to pick him up, and he sees me, and he's like, "Hey, get over here." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah." He's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, just about to go home." He's like, "Do you need a ride?" And I was like, nah, I'm good. He's like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm good. Which I shit you not, I thought I was, okay? Oh, by the way, I am not encouraging drinking and driving. Terrible idea, don't do it. So I start this like 15-minute drive home. I'm driving pretty good for being intoxicated. I'm not gonna lie. Everybody in the car said that I was driving good. Donnie, she said that I was driving okay. All right, we're driving home. My buddy's dad's driving behind me to make sure I get back safe. And so we're driving, and we pass this cop, okay? We'll call him Officer Dickhead because he doesn't like me. Officer Dickhead drives past me. I'm like, all right, keep it cool. I'm driving fine. Then I see his brake lights come on, and then I see him turn around. I'm like, shit. So he's driving behind my buddy's dad. So I'm like, all right, worst comes to worst, he's gonna pull over my buddy's dad, and I'm good.
Psych! You thought!
Not what's gonna happen. He cuts my buddy's dad off and gets right behind me. I'm like, shit. So I'm driving, I'm keeping my cool, staying in the lane, blah, 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 blah. I'm using all my turn signals, all that good stuff. Instead of just driving back to my house, I decide to make a pit stop at the gas station that's like, what, a block away? 2 blocks away? Mom said she needed milk. And honest to God, I would rather go to jail than get an ass beating from my mom because I didn't bring milk home for her to use in her cereal. I park, and I start walking up to the gas station, and he pulls in right behind me. I'm like, shit. I'm walking up to the doors, and he's like, "Hey, can I talk to you real quick?" First, I try to act like I didn't hear him, but nobody else was around, so he had to have been talking to me. So I turn around, I'm like, "Oh, well, hello, officer." I know his name, but I was like, "Hello, Officer Dickhead." I was like, "What seems to be the problem?" He's like, "Oh, well, some people have been saying you've been, what did he say? He used some stupid ass word. Some people noticed some erratic behavior coming from your car or some bullshit like that, right?" And I'm just like, "Oh, no, I don't know. Maybe it's another car that looks like mine." And he's like, "Oh no, it's definitely your car."
Wow, what an asshole.
And he's like, "Have you been drinking tonight?" I'm like, "Nope." He goes, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Positive." He's like, "Really? Because I can smell alcohol in your breath." Like, "Oh, maybe I had 1 or 2. And he's like, "How old are you again?" I'm like, I don't know why I told him my real age, but I was like, "Oh, I'm 18. He's like, "Do you know the legal drinking age limit?" And I was like, "Oh, no, I don't. Please inform me." And he's like, he just shook his head like, "Oh my God, I'm about to beat the shit out of this kid." He's like, "Well, is it alright if we breathalyze you?" I said, "Sure, why not?" I'm praying to God that I have sobered up enough to pass. Alright? Worst comes to worst, I go to jail for underage drinking. I blew like 2 or 3 times over the legal limit. So he puts me in handcuffs, he reads me my rights. I was hoping he didn't. And then he brings out all the other girls, and they're all fucking drunk besides Donnie. The little one, she's worse than what she was the first 30 minutes that we were at the party when she was sitting in that dirty clothes basket. She's bawling. Made up some bullshit ass like, oh, I didn't know there was alcohol at the party. Somebody spiked my drink. Oh my God. If these cops weren't here, they breathalyzed everybody. So they breathalyzed Donnie, and she didn't drink at all. So they make her blow. She blows a perfect 0.0. And Officer Dickhead, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna let you keep this tube, the tube that you blow into. He's like, I'm gonna let you keep this as a souvenir for the time you made a smart decision. Shut the. She gets to sit on the curb, and then so they had to walk the 4 girls to the police station, which was like right across the street from the gas station. I had to stay because I was 18 and I was going to jail. So he puts me in the squad car, and I'm like, I was like, my dad's gonna beat my ass. So he drives all the way to the gas station, livid, okay? So he walks up to the cop, and he's like, where's my son? He's like, oh, he's sitting in the squad car. And the cop's standing right in the front of the door because he could tell that my dad was pissed. He's like, can I talk to him? He's like, oh yeah, sure. So he opens up the door, and he kind of stands in between him, dad and me. And he's like, oh, you can go like smoke a cigarette if you want. And he's like, I can't leave him alone with you. He's like, why not? And he's like, sir, I think we all know why. And he's like, oh, come on, man, just go smoke a cigarette, just 5 minutes. He's like, sir, I can't. He's like, fine. Rips my ass, rips me a new one, which he has all right to do so. I mean, it was loud enough, like, people, like, down the street heard it and were kind of, like, peeking out the windows. Like, I don't know if they were, but I can just tell, like, if I heard some shit like that at 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm gonna peek out the window to see what's going on. They haul me off to jail, which was, like, a 6-block drive, not that far. So, you know, they get all my information, they get my fingerprints and shit, and then they throw me in the drunk tank. And you know what? Jail's not that bad. If you're in the drunk tank, it's not that bad. Don't cry. It's not that bad. Like, they just throw you in the drunk tank all by yourself, if you're lucky, and they give you Fruit Loops and coffee. And, I mean, that was it. Like, well, I mean, that wasn't totally it. I mean, I got 3 months suspension on my license. I mean, and that was, oh, and then I got like a 6-game suspension for baseball. Good times. I mean, I had a blast at the party. That was about it. I mean, my mom was disappointed, but like when she first found out, she didn't really give. Like, my dad came home and was like, hey Kate, your son just got arrested. Which one? AJ. Huh. Rolls over, goes back to sleep. My dad was like, really? I have to go fucking parent this shit? That's pretty much, you know, it's the story of me getting arrested. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We out.